Here we go. This isn't easy. Trust me. Right now, I'm trying to block the NSA's artificial telepathy signals that are sent to your brain. I'm sorry, they're artificial signals that are being pulsed at you, and you're being. What's happening is you're being. When you're trying to work and do something that is important, your own brain signals are much stronger than whatever the NSA can do. Okay? So, whatever the NSA is sending in your area via pulsed microwave signals, your own brain signals are stronger. The only way they can get those signals in is if they distract you by beeping a car horn or slamming a door loud, making noise. That'll take your attention back to them and off your thought. And what that enables is them to be able to sneak those artificial signals in your brain map signals and allow them to work, because they're extremely weak. Your own brain has much stronger, much more powerful signals because they're your own, you know? So the only way they can do it is when they take your attention off your thought and put it back on to them. You understand? Yeah. So what I'm doing now, I'm using a pulsed device as the NSA maggot minion decides to go ahead and leave. It's been sitting back there for 30 minutes with his lights directly into my car. When there's, I don't know, there might be an open space over there, one or two maybe. That would be a considerate thing to do, is park somewhere where you don't have your bright lights being in somebody's rearview mirrors or in their eyes, flashing them. You know, it's a rude thing to do to somebody, is put your lights or brights right in their face, right? It's kind of a rude thing to do to somebody, you know, is to have your brights up in their face. And with all that available space, all that beautiful parking that's available, you know, it just seems a little odd that somebody would actually choose to park behind another person and leave their lights on them like that for as long as that person did, without even thinking or considering that maybe my lights are bothering another person. Well, that is what would happen if you weren't being targeted by the NSA harassment squads and using infrared as manpower, along with all the other research elements, medical, Lockheed, naval intelligence, power, testing everything under the sun on your body, all control techs, all control type technologies that they consistently are testing on targeted individuals, constantly putting more stuff on them and interacting with that stuff with handheld devices. The worst is the pharmaceutical aspect with the nanotechnology, mini RFID readable mini microsystems that, if you're on a pharmaceutical that happens to interact at some point with your central nervous system, or possibly breaks the blood-brain barrier, like antipsychotics and stimulants, Adderall, things like that, Well, if you're on that medicine, then you're going to continue to be an NSA mind slave, because they have the exact timing down that the Adderall takes to go into the brain, breaking the blood-brain barrier, flowing through your brain, your cranium, and they directly interact with that Adderall. They map you that way in the beginning, or whatever drug it is, you know. That's why in this statement I'm making now, you're seeing me doing something that looks a little odd. I definitely don't care who sees me doing it. Obviously, I'm in a parking lot with people everywhere, and I'm twitching like a madman. This isn't normal. I'm instigating these twitches via my device that I have on my body that's creating intense signals, pulse signals, going straight into key points like the back of my neck and the part of my brain stem that contains crucial nerves that sends medication into your brain and central nervous system, as well as signals to your body to do things that you need to do or want to do, like work, have fun, love, enjoy, taste, those things. All those signals that I'm talking about are natural signals that you, when you think about them, experience them. If you're hungry, you think, hey, right now I sure could go for some tasty food. And then you think of a food you want to eat. Well, that's you thinking. It's not anyone else. Your brain signals are extremely powerful. Your own brain signals, right? So these maggots use pharmaceuticals that have broken into your brain through the blood-brain barrier, and they use the RFID technology, nanostructures that are put into all the medicines that are using the blood-brain barrier as its method of its method of delivery. And at that point, they're using handheld interactive devices to read it, map it, and understand it. They develop your brain's profile. If you're a strong brain, weak brain. When you do everything, like think about food that you want to eat, you're being monitored the way you think that way. You know, what happens in your brain according to the medicine you're on. That's why all targets are always forced to take medication, or encouraged to, because they want you on something that contains this material that can be quickly put into you, so they can interact with it and learn what your signals are, what they say, when they say it, all your feelings, how hard you think, how much pulse is generated from your heart to your brain in order to think of something like standing up. And they map that on a computer that's going into the supercomputer, which is the very famous brain interface computer that everybody talks about. Well, that's how they get your brain read, guys. It's through the RFID technology in a lot of medications. Now, there's other ways, obviously, the EEG method, the heterodyning, right? Where they pulse signals. I've actually seen a demo of what it would look like if you could see what an EEG heterodyning signal looks like remotely. And it is so precise. I can't even believe it, man. And it doesn't, it like is aimable, and it's unbelievable. They pulse it to a connected spot on your temple, on each temple, right? So it's interacting with your temples. So they could just pulse 2 quick spots to your temple, and they could read it that way, but it's super weak that way. Their method, their preferred method to read your thoughts is the pharmaceuticals with the new RFID technology, right? The new RFID technology that's being used to map the brain of a targeted individual, of a person who is on a medication that has that method of delivery. I'm going to tell you that if you don't believe what I'm saying, that's totally cool. And if you do, that also totally cool. But this video is completely for pure humanity, great intentions of love and caringness and all those good things.